We have some more breaking news, this time on a significant signing. The Pittsburgh Penguins have signed long-term defenseman Kris Letang to a 6-year contract. We'll discuss the details coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have some pretty significant news out of Pittsburgh now. Kris Letang and the Penguins have come to terms on a 6-year contract extension. Certainly when you're north of 35, it's not a common thing to see a player signing a contract this long. But his average annual value on this is going to be $6.1 million. To me, I kind of wonder if the amount of money that they were talking about, or Letang was looking for, that the Penguins might have been probably more willing to do on a 4 or 5 year deal. Maybe they extend out the contract a little bit to lower the AAV to allow them to do more things. This might give them a better crack at signing Evgeni Malkin as well. There was a lot of reports indicating that Letang wanted at least as much as his last contract, if not more, and he was making $7.25 per season. So there was some talk that if he hit the open market, there probably would be teams out there willing to pay 4 or 5 years at $7.5 to $8 million. Yes, he's older, but he's really put up a fantastic season last year. He's actually remained healthy the last number of years after going through a lot of injuries and things throughout the kind of like the middle part of his career, I guess you could say. But he had a phenomenal season last year, and he can show that he can still play at a very high level. And he was extremely important to that Penguins blue line for sure. So obviously, out of him and Malkin, I think he took precedence given his position. So this will take him to age 40 years of age, and it's going to make him a well over 20-year player with the Penguins should he fulfill the entire term of the contract. Now, I don't have the full contract breakdown as of right now, but in the last CBA, the Memorandum of Understanding, when the CBA was renegotiated here early in the pandemic, they did make adjustments to the 35-plus contracts. Obviously, at one point, if you were signing a contract over the age of 35, if the player retired or whatever, you couldn't get any cap relief. But that is now not the case. And then the big thing is that has to meet certain criteria, though. The main thing they're looking for teams to avoid doing here is doing a really front-loaded contract so that most of the money is all paid in the first year or two, and then it just kind of levels out after that, basically just adding additional years to lower the AAV, which is essentially a loophole, right? So that's what they don't want to see. They want to get as accurate as depiction as possible. So that way, if this contract meets that criteria, and let's say he doesn't play all the years, if he plays after 3 or 4 years or whatever, if he does retire, then they can actually get the cap relief. So that was all changed here in the last Memorandum of Understanding. I just got to wait to see the contract breakdown to see if it qualifies. I've seen some saying they thought it did, and I've seen other reporters saying that it sounds like it's front-loaded. And if it is front-loaded, then the Penguins are going to have Letang really make sure he plays this out. Or I guess the other option here as well is if he can go on LTIR, the last little part of it too. So I don't know. I mean, obviously that's another whole different part of the CBA that I don't know some people don't like, but for the most part teams do use it to their advantage because it's legal and it's there. So why not? So obviously it's a big signing for Pittsburgh. Like I said, I'm sure their focus now turns to Evgeni Malkin. They already signed Casey DeSmith, so they know who their goaltending tandem is going to be. They've got the big part of their blue line. I think with Letang staying, we likely do see a trade involving somebody else on the blue line. I think John Marino will get a lot of interest, so I wouldn't be shocked if he moves, especially with Letang being obviously the main power play quarterback there. It kind of inhibits his role given he's an offensive defenseman, and I think they'd be interested in trading Marcus Pettersson. I wouldn't be shocked if either one or both is moved. They can hopefully bring up Pierre Olivier Joseph. I know he could stand a chance. I think deserves more opportunity to play for one thing, and secondly, they could really benefit from having his ELC contract on the books as opposed to one of the other AAVs that are higher, so it saves them money too. So we'll see. I think those other two defensemen will definitely have interest. So we'll see how the corresponding moves go accordingly. So let me know your thoughts on this. Of course, we just had a big trade between the Rangers and the Avalanche, and there's bound to be lots more. So stay tuned, buckle up. I'll keep you up to date here with all the trades and the free agent signings. So of course, free agent signings with their own teams for now because UFA period doesn't officially kick in until the 13th. And it's going to be a busy night as the first round of the draft is getting closer to kicking off. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. We'll discuss further. Subscribe and stick around if you're new to the channel as well. We'll keep you up to date with everything going on here as we get into this crazy time of year. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.